According to the UN Refugee Agency, 186,000 people have crossed illegally into Europe so far this year. 2,500 have died while making this dangerous crossing, and there is no end in sight to this humanitarian disaster. Libya is on the front lines of this catastrophe, as many of those who cross into Europe use Libyan shores to do so. So why are people risking their lives to cross the Mediterranean? Where are they coming from? And is the Libyan government doing enough to counter this influx of illegal migrants? Joining me for another episode of the Libyan Insider is Dr. Fathi Fadhili, an assistant professor at the Tripoli University College of Education, a former advisor to the Ministry of Education, and a political writer. Thank you very much for joining us again, Dr. Fadhili.
Thank you very much.
Let me just maybe ask you to tell us, where are these immigrants coming from, those who are striving to get into Europe?
Okay, first of all, thank you for having me. And also, I would like to start with the general statements and then answer your question. First of all, the human smugglers who are helping those migrants to cross the borders of this country should be designed as criminals. This is the mildest word I can find. They are assassinate murderers. They are inhuman because they know a huge percent of those will be drowning in the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, those migrants come from 44 nations in Libya. I'm talking in Libya. The immigrants are coming from 44 nations. There are 20 centers of our facilities, detained facilities. Some of them call them detained centers. Okay, and there are 1,800,000 workers in Libya, non-Libyan, and a huge percent of them are immigrants, illegal. We're talking about illegal immigrant. The International Organization for Migration trying to put huge pressure on Libya. Actually, European Union countries, the international community, the IOM, International Organization of Migration, all of them putting a huge pressure on Libya as if Libya is responsible for this crisis, while Libya is just a transit country. Okay? And actually, it is an international responsibility. All the countries in the world, all the international community is responsible for this crisis. Well, the European Union also turns the Libyan Guard into their own police. Okay, they turn the Libyan Coast Guards into their police, directly or indirectly. Where this comes from, the migrants, again, 44 countries. Let me mention some of them. Somalia, Ivory Coast, Sudan, Guinea, Mali, Senegal, Bangladesh, Tunisia, Egypt, Eritrea, Nigeria, Gambia, Burkina Faso, Ethiopia, Ghana, Mali, Niger, Africa in general, and also West Asia, okay? There are Arabs, non-Arabs, there are Muslim and non-Muslim, Christian, from all the nationalities almost. They are representing the body of the immigrant people in Libya.
And now it's obviously a big crisis, especially that linked to what's happening in Europe. But if we can just try and understand why people are risking their lives. Because if you're crossing the desert and you're going through different types of people trying to help you get into, and you're paying these large amounts of money for people to smuggle you from one country to another, and then to cross this dangerous, to make this a dangerous crossing, you've got to have really strong reasons to do that.
Exactly. There is a legitimate, rational reason for them leaving their homeland. Yet it's not accepted, but it is there. It's a reality. And first, let me mention some of these reasons why they left their homeland, why they left their families, the tribes. It's due to poverty, first of all, okay? Oppression by the regimes. Most of the regimes actually are an oppressor, dictatorships, persecution, the lack of health care in their own country, the lack of education, unemployment, and many other reasons. What I want to mention here, they are not leaving their country just out of luxury or entertainment or choice. It is there are circumstances, a huge pressure on them, lead them to leave their homeland.
So, as you mentioned, people are migrating because of political reasons or economic safety reasons. What are they hoping to get in Europe once they reach Italy, Spain, Greece? What kind of life are they imagining they will get in Europe?
First of all, they are dreaming of employment, getting work, education, safety also, safety. And they hope that, of course, there are some friends and relatives already in Europe, and they're telling them how life there is way better than where they are living. And so they are encouraged to trying to reach to Europe.
How real are their expectations, do you think?
Actually, yes, it is. Most of it is right. Yes, most of it is right, because there are social programs which afford like houses, food, health care. All of these essential and basics of life are there, affordable or provided in Europe. And this is why they take all this risk to cross the deserts and countries to reach there.
So when they get to Libya then, why is it not enough to stay in Libya? Because there's been claims that from Western media that Libya kind of enslaves these migrants or puts them in these horrible centers. First off, is that true? And secondly, can they live in Libya? I mean, we see a lot of them obviously work, and they do a lot of labor work. So, first off, are these claims true that they are mistreated? And if they decide to stay in Libya instead of going to Europe, do they still get a good life here in Libya?
First of all, their destiny is Europe. Their destiny is not Libya. This is the goal. Yeah. Okay. And second, you just remind me of most of the state heads of a state in the whole world, the media, governments, okay, rescue organizations, human rights committees, okay, international private groups and authorities, TV channels, international printed and electronic newspapers, magazines, and websites. They all describe Libya as a hell for them. Okay, all of the mentioned authorities and bodies, they call the Mediterranean Sea as the Sea of Death, the Sea of Death, and they are right, by the way. The number who drowned is really scary. Okay, and they describe the shelters or the detention centers or the facilities, immigrant facilities. They describe it as Libya hell, or the hell of Libya, or the hell on earth, okay? And death centers too. They mention it as death centers. In addition, they describe the boats, which is provided by the human smugglers in Libya. They describe the boat as the death boats. So what we're hearing here is two words, death and hell, whether it's the Mediterranean, the sea, or the boats. Why is that? Where did they get these names, death and hell, from? These centers gained this terrifying title, again, death and hell, because of the inhumane treatment and abuse, the high-level abuse that the immigrants subject to in those centers. Declare that they would rather, some immigrants, they say that we would rather drown and die in the Mediterranean Sea than staying in those detention centers.
These detention centers, they're they're run by the Libyan government or the UN? Or
there are two kinds of, that's a good question. There are two types of facilities, immigrant facilities. One run by the government, I believe there are about 20 in Libya, okay? And there are unofficial centers, unfortunately.
Like the militias?
Not necessarily smugglers, human smugglers. Could be militia, could be, or supported by some militias. They usually houses, okay, hangars, farms, okay, they are away from the site of the rulers, of the government, okay? They are away of the site of the authorities. Those centers were subject to listen to some of the accusations, for both, by the way, for the official and the non-official centers.
Yeah.
Accusation of raping, okay, torturing, racial discrimination, forced labor, human trafficking, slavery, human rights violation, arbitrary detention, unlawful killing out of the law, sexual exploitation, and exposure to sexual violence, okay? And the list continue, okay? Working in unbearable fields, sometimes without paying, hunger due to lack of food in some centers, sometimes even intended hunger, intended or planned hunger. The food is available, but they need to provide them. Add to that, other maybe smaller things like they stole their money, their iPhones, their belongings, okay? And financial extortion. They call the family. We have your son or your daughter. If you want us to release them from the centers, you have to pay so and so. The more sad thing is these families are very poor themselves, but they are enforced to.
So all these are true?
Here is the point. I believe they are true, but they are not phenomena. Like it's not every day in every center and everybody practices it. There are incidents, scattered incidents here and there. As a matter of fact, one of them is videotaped and broadcasted where in the Dutch TV, okay, internationally. There are other videos where a Libyan boat guard, the Coast Guard, the Libyan Coast Guard ship shoot a boat that full of migrants, and it is taped and released to the whole world. And of course, it gave a huge criticism. And
so these people who are trying to get to Europe suffer a lot in Libya.
They said, some of them said that I would rather go and cross the sea and die there than staying and live here. But there are some other sides, positive side, the Libyan doing, we will mention, and the world never talk about it. A huge positive side that the Libyan give to those immigrants, okay? But the point is that, again, is this, all of them, is it a phenomena? Is it every day in every center? I didn't think so. But does this happen? Everything we mention, it happened, but it is scattered incidents here and there. Not in every center, not a day practice, but it's not expected, it's not accepted. Even though it's not, as the international media trying to show how bad the Libyans treat the immigrants, no matter how the scale of abuse, it's not accepted, of course. Okay. Let us describe to you, if you don't mind, the one of the center, or most of the centers. Okay, and why they name it the hell on earth. Okay, the lack of medicine, no health care. Okay. Water is lacking of water or scarcity of water, okay? Or if it is there is water available in those centers. It could be dirty, okay, or salty, or not used for a human drink. It was even reported that water was banned in some centers or used as a pressure, okay, on the migrants, a tool of oppression. Lacking of medicine, lacking of water, okay, overcrowding, a huge, a center which is like fit for 500, you find 2,000-3,000 of them there. Women, children, elderly, male, female, they are all.
So these centers are for people who are deciding they want, or they come to Libya to live here, or they're waiting for their turn to go to Europe.
They are waiting. In those centers, which is governed by a non-official, they stay in those homes, farmers or hangars, until they arrange for them to leave. Yeah, they are staying there until they. And the same thing for the official ones. Staying in Libya is not their goal. It's not their goal. Especially we ourselves in Libya are in a crisis. We are fighting. We cannot even protect our own citizens.
And Libyans are migrating as well.
Yes, some Libyans migrate and die, by the way. They drowned in the Mediterranean. We are a country in a chaos. And the international law stated clearly that you cannot take an immigrant to a place where he is not feeling safe. And what we're doing by returning them from the Mediterranean Sea is against the international law. Europe will not do it. The Europe ships and boats will not take the immigrants to their own countries.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's to Libya or to a place where they feel not safe.
So does the Libyan government, does it know that these centers exist? And
many times I'm giving a program called the International Writers or International Bands, okay? And almost in every 3 or 4th episode, I told the government to arrange for an international press conference and clarify these points, clarify what is going on. Okay, and it is the problem again for us is hard to deal with because of our, again, situation ourselves. We are not stable yet. We're fighting among each other. We have 2 governments. We have a lot of problems. And the European Union and the whole world asking us to take care of about 700,000 non-Libyan humans. And that is not fair at all. That's not
so the
fair.
lack of a state really is to blame. The lack of a
Exactly.
country.
Exactly. We are a transit country, A. B, we are in a career. C, we don't have the facilities and capabilities of receiving those people.
So people who come from the south of Libya, through the desert, there's no monitoring going on.
Oh, this is one of the stupidest solution here is, because I have a list of solutions, and they are all failed. They are all wrong because they are focusing on they are not focusing on the roots of the problem. They're focusing on what are they seeing now in the phenomena itself. They don't focus on the roots, like the point you mentioned, guarding the borders of the south. This is thousands of kilometers with Niger and Chad and Sudan. And how can you guard vast desert It's called the Sand Sea area. Some areas called Sand Sea. Some of them are trying to cross and they die there. The human smugglers left them there. No water, no equipment, no facilities, no cars, and they die. They die by thirst. They die because of lacking of water.
And this is going to be...
And that's one or two stories we heard about. How many stories we don't know about? How many dies in the desert before even they reach Libya? Or after they crossing Libya, they're heading towards Sabha or Al-Kufra.
So you mentioned one of the countries, Niger. It's decriminalized illegal immigration. So Libya should expect an increase in illegal migrants.
Of course.
So it's no longer, so our viewers understand, it's no longer a crime in Niger to go and leave that country illegally.
Yes. Actually, they did that. The regime, the new Niger regime, did that.
Because there was a coup 2 months ago, I think.
The coup, the stand of the Europe Union countries against the coup. Their stand was negative. They don't want it. They don't, I think, recognize it, I believe. Okay? But I think it's another country behind this idea. Okay? A long time ago, Russia was threatening to let everybody in Africa migrate to Europe. But I think it's a reaction to the stand of the Europe countries.
So how will it affect Libya then?
Oh, it's going to be increased, huge. Libya is in a chaos. Libya already in trouble because of those immigrants. We don't care any nationality come. You are highly welcome in Libya. The Libyans are welcoming everybody in the world, but in the right way, not illegal. Go to your embassy. So we are sure, the Libyan authority, the Libyan government, the Libyan people sure that you are health-wise, you don't have an infectious disease, serious infectious disease. You are not a criminal record. We need it badly. What can you do in Libya? Okay. Then you have somebody in charge of you in Libya, a Libyan, take care of you, okay? And you are highly welcome. But in this way, all the countries in the world, United States, Europe, those countries have a great capabilities, facilities, you name it. And yet they do the same thing the Libyan complain of. They don't want the immigrants in this way because they don't know who's coming. Who's coming? I mean, that's a very dangerous situation. By the way, there are crimes in Libya committed by some of the migrants. There are a huge number of the migrants are very good people. They are very nice. But some of them committed already many crimes in all the areas in Libya. Some militia now using them. Some militia using the immigrants to join them and kill and fight other Libyans. And some of the immigrants already caught, arrested because they were dealing in drugs. This is why we don't mind any nationality to come. They are highly welcome, but in the right way. And number two, not only in the right way, don't make me responsible for 500,000 men. I mean, that's too much. In this situation in Libya.
Has Libya asked the EU for help?
Libya itself needs help even without this immigration problem. But the selfishness and racism of most of the European Union countries is the only thing in their mind is leave them there, leave them in Libya and take them to their own country. All their effort and goals is to keep them away from our countries. Take them, you Libya, and without any other help. Okay, let me, if you don't mind, another 2 points about the situation in those facilities.
Yeah.
Overcrowding with mixing again, men and women. We see some of the ladies are pregnant. Okay, overcrowding combined by what? Shortage of restrooms. One of the centers there is one restroom to the point that people using cans, okay, to relieve themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, using cans and using all these, anything they can use to relieve, seems buckets, cans, cups, okay, overcrowded. These avocados, there is no sleeping necessities. Mattresses, for example, pillows, blankets, okay? It is a help if even one or two centers like this, okay? Lacking of sleeping necessity, add to the garbage and trash is all over the centers with the smell and insects and lice and fleas, you name it. The results of accumulation of garbage. Not mention the spread of infections, infectious disease, including diarrhea, smallpox, okay, respiratory problems, malnutrition, you name it. It is a help, okay? Now, before I forget, I want to mention a point. Some Europe countries send us weapons of, you name it, tanks, airplanes, rockets, missiles, and that cost millions of dollars. And they should, instead of this, and in the same time, they criticize the Libyans. Oh, this is a hell, this is facilities. It's not inhumane. A human cannot live here 24 hours. The media, the president, the European Union. Okay, and instead of criticizing a country like Libya, which is in a chaos again, go ahead and build facilities instead of give us tanks and weapons and missiles. You were able to provide some parties in Libya here or there with all of the huge weapons and airplanes and tanks and ammunitions, and you cannot build one or two or three or five centers that fit for humans. Okay, that's really, I don't know, Europe always give the wrong solution.
There's an idea that Europe wants these illegal migrants because of the shortage of labor in their own countries, like Italy and Germany. There's a shortage of workers. So I wonder if you think that's true.
Yeah, they do the same thing.
If they really didn't want illegal migrants, they would stop them. But they're not stopping them.
Yes. And they are very picky and choice. The first point is security, okay? Is this guy is a terrorist or this guy is a criminal, okay? Criminal record, they need a criminal record. Medical check-up. What can he do? What job he can do? They are doing the same thing we're asking for.
Yeah.
But they don't care for us. They care only for themselves. Let me tell you more about these centers. Yeah. Okay? How, according, of course, to the international media, okay, and TV channels, they are beaten up, okay, by guards, beaten up by hands, by sticks, okay, stones, knives, rifle bars, and kicking, slapping, screaming, yelling at them, okay. One of the immigrants lost his sight, another one lost his hearing because of slapping or hitting. One of the beating incident was filmed, again, I just told you that, filmed and broadcasted on the Dutch television. Many incidents, by the way, televised. And all of this pinpoint Libya. If this has happened, or even part of it happened, we are not
But it's happening in Libya, though.
Huh?
It's happening in Libya.
Yes, it happened in Libya, but at the same time, what Europe do is worse. Europe give millions of dollars, just keep them away from me, and just dumping all these problems on us. Plus, they don't mention the positives, which I will, inshallah. Okay, some of them forced to stand under the hot sun. Some of them shot to death. Okay, it was reported, and that's an incident, the very famous one. 28 bodies of immigrants were found buried in one of the cities, close to Bani Walid city. 28 found dead there. Okay. They watch it there. It's really, the name hell is right. But again, this is a single isolated incident. It's not a phenomenon, it's not everyday practice. That's what I believe in. Okay, and again and again and again. Libyan people are very nice. Very nice. If the international community focus on the positives, those immigrants are working. They are praying with us, celebrating with us, living with us in the cities. They are managing stores. You go to the store, you find one immigrant, even the owner is not there. He's dealing with the money, with the whole store. They are very highly respecting. We pray together and Ramadan, the same Ramadan, the same. They practice their tradition, even the non-Muslim of them. Practice freely their tradition. They have soccer teams all over the areas. They are very highly respected, and they deal with the international community or the European Union doesn't see this. Doesn't see this. They are using this problem for migrant, politicizing it or something, or I have no idea. Yeah. Again, many questions need to be answered. How come you provide us with weapons with billions of dollars? Actually, I mentioned only millions. That could be billions of dollars of weapons. You don't provide us with very nice centers for those people, which is you claim this is the hell on earth. Go ahead and make paradise on earth. No. You have money, you have the capability, you have the companies. Your countries are not destabilized.
Now, Libya's tried some tactics like making returning home voluntary and security guards on the beaches. So I'll take it they've not succeeded in trying to kind of take control of the situation.
Well, I would rather that they voluntarily leave to their country than crossing the sea and die. Okay. But there is no voluntary. They don't want to leave, but they are enforced, or they put a pressure on them. So they say, I would like to back to my country. Okay, but it is good. But the numbers are very small. Very little numbers are voluntarily leaving. Once a while we heard that 160 immigrants voluntarily leave, 250, 70, but we have 700.
Once you've made it to Libya, you don't want to go back.
They don't want. Either they stay working in Libya, and they are staying working in Libya temporarily in their mind. It's not the destiny. It is not. Only when again, I want to mention another positive. You go to Libya, Tripoli streets and corners, and there are tens of them standing, nobody bothers them, okay, and waiting for some job chance in that day. They are living nobody mentioned that. I wish we can have a program where we go to the city and televise it to the world.
They do what Libyans are not prepared to do, really. Mm-hmm. Like construction work.
Yes.
The cleaning services. So they do things that a Libyan traditionally you would never find a Libyan doing.
Exactly, unfortunately.
So they fill a big hole in the economy.
Yes. Yeah. Let me talk to you about the boats.
Yeah.
The boats that, by the way, there are Libyan human smugglers, which I consider them, again, murderers and assassinates and inhuman, and they are committed war crimes. Because they know 90%, 50% is somebody gonna drown. Yeah. That is, what job is this? You're getting money for killing people. And that is not the only point. The boats they provide, some boats are designed to carry 10 people, rubber. Yeah. Some boats are designed, the wooden boats, designed to carry, for example, 100. Those boats which are designed to carry 12, they use it for 100 immigrants. Yeah. And maybe 1,000 euro for every one, or more maybe these days.
1,000 euros?
That is, my information about the 1,000 euro is too old. It could be now more, okay?
Just to get on the boat?
Just to get into the boat, to stay in that hell on earth, okay? And bending until we get a chance for you to. A boat that carry 12, those criminals use it for 100 persons, 100 humans, some of them infants, some of them pregnant ladies, some of them elderly people, and the chance of drowning, of sinking, is very high. The boat, which is supposed to be designed for 100 person, they use it to carry 700. 700, and that boat designed, manufactured for 100 person. One of the boats sank close to one of the Italian island, Lampedusa, I believe, or something, okay? They all die, about 700. This is a war crimes. This is a crimes against humanity. Naming them a human smuggler is spoiling. They should be really fought hardly, and they should stop these massacres.
And the Libyan government there's no regulation, there's no...
There are efforts, but...
trying stopping this.
Let me tell you something. It is not a Libyan thing. It is an international network. It's a mafia. Yeah. When you see 100, 200, 300 immigrants cross the Mediterranean, it is not a Libyan thing. It is plans and times and somebody receiving them there, communications, computers, GPS. It's a mafia. It's a very highly sophisticated criminal networks in all over the world. By the way, it's not Libyan. Italy and other countries arrested people or from Ethiopia, Eritrea, okay, from Africa. Africans who do that. Also, they have European partners. It's a huge, it's a mafia. The Libyan are trying, but the Libyan are trying in the wrong way too. Okay? They're trying the wrong way too. The only thing Libyan should do and must do is trying to find those unofficial centers, and that is the work of the Libyan security bodies. They should work hard to stop them, take them back to their country. That is the only thing Libya should and may be able to do. But make resettlement them and give them job and give them very nice facilities. That is. I would like to mention there are Libyans who live in the real hell in some Libyan jail, in the jail itself. So we are the Libyans in problems ourselves, okay? Some statistics, for example, let me provide you with some statistics from 2014 until 2020, okay? According to most reliable sources, those who drowned in the sea is 20,000 human. 20,000 human drowning in the Mediterranean Sea. And yet, the human smuggler never stopped this business. And the international community and United Nations and the whole world doesn't move. And that is in 2014 until 2020. God knows these days how many drowned in the Mediterranean. It's a massacre. It's a massacre. And the whole world is watching, doing nothing, just talking. And they're criticizing Libya. And I think it is the responsibility of the international community. It is not a local, it is not an European problem. It is all the countries with no exception.
Yeah, I mean, Italy is under pressure.
Italy,
because Giorgia Meloni, I think, the prime minister, she was elected based on the fact that she will stop these illegal crossings, but they've doubled since she's come to power. She's even admitted that she could do better, she said. So it's obviously the countries are failing.
She is. I'm sorry to use this word. She's again doing the same mistake. It is the security solution. She even asked, "I'm gonna put military ships, okay, at the coast of Libya, okay," and that's as a declaring of war. And internationally, this is declaring war on Libya. Their mind is a security solution, okay? Violence, arrest them, follow them, But the solution is not there. This could be a temporary solution. And it never succeeded. It never worked.
So you're saying they should help Libya more in stopping the trafficking?
They should help the source countries, the original countries. Not Libya, the original countries. They should stop. Europe should stop supporting dictatorships, corrupt leaders, development projects in Africa or in the countries where those people come from. This is the solution. They don't do it. They're talking about it, but they never achieve it. They never implement it. They never work seriously on it. The only thing, please, Libyan guards, take them away from us. That's all. That's all. We're going to give you boats. Italy give new boats to the Libyan ships and vessels, okay? And they ask them, just keep them away. This is not the solution. The solution, number one, is development projects in the source countries, the original countries, okay? So people are saying they find jobs, they find education, they relax. Two, again, do not support corrupted and dictatorship and brutal regimes, which is Europe did, okay? And they are corrupt, and they are persecute people, they are not feeling not safe, so they leave. One of the reasons leaving their country is a dictatorship, okay? The third thing, how many countries we are in the world? 193, 194 countries. Every country should receive at least a specific number every year. It is not a Libya or a European Union problem. It is an international problem. Every country should accept a specific number of immigrants legally. I mean, that will not be affecting the whole world. 1,000 per year. Those 20,000 drowned could be now living and working instead of drowning in the Mediterranean Sea. Every country based on, according on its wealth, its ability, its capabilities, okay? Its need to workers, okay? Every country should, Guterres should tell all the countries he is the president or the whatever secretary of the United Nations. He should push toward this. Do you know that Guterres talk about Libya? That you should release the immigrants from the detention or from the shelters in Libya? That is what you can say, Mr. Guterres. You should do more. You should ask every country to accept a number of those humans. Not telling Libya to release them. Oh, those facilities are hell on earth, so leave them, go where? 700,000 humans go where? We have a problem already in our own. God knows how many non-immigrant, millions of them in Libya, they are not Libyans. And they are illegal, by the way. Maybe 1 million Egyptian guy, 1 million مش عارف إيش. يعني, again, everybody is highly welcome to work, to stay, to live. We have no problem. The Libyan people knows by generosity, they knew, the world knows that we are a very highly welcome society, but should be doing in the right way. Okay.
So, as a final point, maybe if we can, if you can give us your suggestions about, in a few points about how to deal with this, and how do you see the reality in the future? Will it change, or is it going to get worse?
Do you know the solution, the wrong solution the international community gave usually? You know, Irini and Sophia operation and Irini operation, one of them is to stop the migrants and back them to Libya. Very stupid, extremely stupid, okay, solution. They have arrested smugglers and all this. It doesn't work. Why they are stupid solutions? It doesn't work until today, until tomorrow. And they spend millions, ships of Irini and ships of Sophia in the Mediterranean and watching if there is a boat. If they see a boat that's full of immigrants, what did they do? Did they take them to Europe? Did they save them? They called the Libyan Coast Guard. They give them their occasion. Okay, and then the Libyan Guard come and bring them back to Libya. Why didn't the European countries' ships did not take the immigrants and they leave the Libyan Guard doing that? Do you know why? Because the international law said that the ship, the nationality of the ship, the nationality of the boat which take the immigrant, okay, should put them in their own country. Though the Libyan boats have to bring them to Libya. England boats, German boats, okay? I'm talking about the official boats because there are private boats really rescue those immigrants in the sea. Okay, so what they happen now, let the Libyan do it. Libyan cannot take them to the European port. They have to take them to the Libyan port. Why, if the Libyan boats rescue the immigrants, then they should take them to the Libyan port. Mm-hmm. Okay, and this is why the European ships, okay, they did not rescue them. If they say a boat, even in danger, actually some boats are not in danger at all, but they wanted to take it away to Libya. It's a selfishness, okay, and it is, forget about selfishness, it is not the right solution. It is not, it's not working. We know that. Okay, I would say that what kind of solution that it might work. First of all, the Libyan Guard, the Libyan Coast Guard, should realize that they are very nice people, they are trying their best, there are agreements, they have to do their job, they receive orders, but they should remember always, you are the coast, the guard of the Libyan coast. You are not the guard of the European coast. They should realize that. And let the other countries rescue. They name it rescue. It's actually returning, not rescue. Okay. Those boats. Let me tell you some of the pointers that I think might work. First of all, Union countries should stop supporting dictatorship regimes and corrupt regimes, okay? So people live happily in their own land. The suppression of freedom, financial corruption that tyranny practice will lead to poverty, of course, repression, violation of human rights in general, lack of security, safety and stability, lack of safety and lack of stability in the country, which drive citizens to leave their homeland. So the solution to this point is the European Union stop supporting the dictatorship regimes. The other point, launching and adopting development projects in the source countries and creating a state of economy recovery. Okay. The third point, the European Union countries must abandon their selfishness and actually racism and implementing real solution to this dilemma instead of blaming Libya. And we talk about the situation of Libya socially, politically. The European Union countries, which is about 27 countries, must legalize the acceptance of immigrants, okay, given their enormous capabilities and wealth. They are a stable country, powerful country, have a lot of facilities, power, wealth, institutions, army, security. So you are able to manage and to deal with some numbers of immigrants, okay? If each of them or any of those countries accept to receive a certain number of immigrants annually, a number that's appropriate to the size of that country and to the abilities of that country, okay? I call again on the United Nations by Mr. Guterres to call the 193 countries to accept a specific number, each of them a specific number, 500, 1,000, 6,000, to accept a specific number of immigrants annually. As part of the solution, the source countries must fight corruption, provide job opportunities for their citizens, adopt civil system instead of military systems, based on institutions and law, protect human rights, freedom of expression, equal opportunities, and focus on improving the economic level. This is what should the European Union country and the world actually drive the regimes of the source countries, not just have a good relation with them in order for some influence or interest. Libya may track, this is Libyan job, may track, monitor, may berate and arrest human smugglers in private detention centers and eliminate their practice and sending migration to their, this is what we can do. We can raid those centers, we can arrest the smugglers, we may work and send those people back voluntarily to their country. So all of this solution has to be done in the same stimulants, in the same time, okay? Again, most of them doesn't talk about the Libyan Muslims. I would like to finish, if you don't mind, by saying Libya is the victim, is the one who is really harmed more than the 27 countries. And yet we are the one who receive the criticism, the blaming, okay, the accusations, okay? Because all these incidents could, again, happen but scattered here and there. It is not the main picture of how Libyans deal with those people. And tell you the truth, Libya, all the time, along the history of Libyans, hundreds of nationalities are living happily, secure, welcoming in Libya. Almost 100 nationalities from Asia, from Europe, Latin America, the Arabic countries. They are highly welcome all the time along our history, but not in this way. Not in this way. Even United States, Greece, Germany, France, Italy does not allow them to come because they say that some social economic problems. So how about Libya? If Italy and America and all those powerful countries did not accept them, how do you want Libya to deal with this crisis again, in spite of the fact we are in a crisis ourselves?
Okay. Dr. Fathi, thank you very much for joining us. It's a very complicated topic and its solutions are even more complicated. But thank you for enlightening us on some of the points there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and may Allah protect our country, inshallah.
Thank you.